Hi everyone, Phil Turek here. Huh, I'm making progress on getting my presentation ready, but this episode is called Watchdog of the Government, referring to the role of the free press in a healthy, functioning democracy. So the idea is, reporters, they're investigative journalists. They go out, they carefully study the issues, and they are always a bit skeptical about whatever the government says, and it's their idea to dig up any dirt that should be dug up about them. So this particular episode is really based on, I stumbled across one 3 minute, 48-second or so interview that was carried out on one of the major news networks. And it's just like, wow, they didn't notice anything. So I'm going to get into that. Here we go. In the future, there will be a vibrant, self sustaining human civilization on Mars. The high road to Mars is one built on a foundation of gracious professionalism, the bedrock ethos of the first robotics competition. The earthbound dreamers of today, who are working to open the high road to a future Martian civilization, are the ancestors of tomorrow's Martians. I'm Phil Turek, one such ancestral Martian. Look at what I'm trying to do by creating simulated Martian cultural ambassadors to act as positive social influencers to somewhat depolarize society here in the United States. Imagine how much even better it would be if the United States were to bring real Martian ambassadors here. Martians on Earth, Season 2, Episode 18, The Watchdog of the Government. Now, I'm going to play this clip after I set some background information about it. So, this guy makes a whole bunch of claims, and the part of I want to call it to your attention is how does the interviewer react and handle to all this stuff that's going on? So, yikes. First, the interview is going to refer to Section 8 housing. And if you're not familiar with that, Section 8 is housing of urban development, and they have a checklist of 13 items. It's actually an 8-page form they fill in to assess whether or not a place is suitable to get supplemental government funding to help low-income people have a place to stay. And so, is it sanitary, private indoor toilet, a shower? Does it have a kitchen, stove, fridge, working, running hot and cold water? Is it a safe place? Is the neighborhood good? Okay. And this guy is going to be making a claim that the place that he's asked about is way better than any of these Section 8 places for millions of people in places like Baltimore, Detroit, or Chicago. So I went online and I just grabbed an image of the Section 8 housing available right now, one image for each of the three cities. So Baltimore on the left and Detroit and Chicago on the right. These are Section 8 housing options right now. Then he talks about the healthcare system in the United States. And so I should put up this cartoon that was pretty funny, but I didn't think to actually include it. But it shows this masked man, and he's in a bank, and he's holding a gun, and he's talking to the teller who's got her hands up behind the counter there, and the caption says, "Haha, just kidding. I'm not here to rob the bank. I'm here to deport you." And it's a frightening but true thing. So in the U.S. healthcare system, it's being pointed out that immigrants make up an unusually high proportion of it, including physicians and surgeons, 26%, most home health aides, 40%. My own experience when my mom was in a nursing home in Florida, it was a lot of Haitian healthcare workers there. taking care of feeding and changing and doing, a lot of daily tasks. And out here where I live, when I go off to see my oncologist, she's Iranian. And okay, so a lot of doctors and healthcare professionals, anecdotally, that's true. Now, this guy's going to make the claim that illegals, if they weren't around, you wouldn't have to wait to get emergency room treatment. And so I tried to look up specifically about that. And in Australia, they have that system and they did a report. And it doesn't really support his claim at all. There's, on the one hand, any illegal immigrants, they're not qualified for any federal funding of any kind. They can't get Medicaid, for example. They're illegal. Uh, they tend to be leery of going out to get medical help early when they need it because they're undocumented. So, for that reason, they do tend to make a little more use than native borns do of emergency room healthcare. But overall, it seems like they're not the factor about wait times in emergency rooms. And then he talked about, if there weren't illegals, there wouldn't be any traffic congestion in, oh, I see, I misspelled traffic, any traffic congestion in LA. And so here's a screenshot of what it looks like right now. And it's been pointed out that, uh, when you snag the immigrants who are supporting our industries, then there's going to be less traffic because those industries are crashing. So construction, hospitality, agriculture, man. And immigrants tend to use public transportation anyways more than try to drive a car. So that claim, and then he talked about health insurance premiums. Oh, yeah. So illegals pay taxes. Illegals pay into the healthcare system, but they're not qualified to draw from it. So their absence would actually hurt your insurance premium on that reasoning. Okay. And then he makes a great joke about classroom sizes. If there weren't illegal immigrants, then you'd have half as many students in your classroom. So here's a picture of me and my students to the left of me in the image, and another mentor from Boeing to the right of me in the image. And this is an old image now, so it's not from this decade. But I can tell you that current immigrant students who are here legally are nonetheless terrified being in school uh, just because how cruel the enforcement is going on. And the whole idea of classroom sizes magically becoming less isn't how it works. Schools get funding based on how many students attend each classroom each day. That's why it's a legal requirement that we take attendance during homeroom each day. Great. If that attendance goes down, our funding goes down. If there are fewer students in the classroom, then by contract, there will end up being fewer teachers teaching the remaining students. It's not like they're going to keep the same uh, number of teachers. Everything goes down, and it's, uh, well, there's the fact. Okay, and that's it pretty much for, let's see, what am I doing? Oh, I'm not sharing anymore. Let's stop sharing. Okay, so that's pretty much it. What I want to do now is just splice in the interview. It was from Fox News, and it was interviewing Stephen Miller about the new ICE detention facility that's uh, just opened up in Florida. And the interview goes on and encourage this guy to tell you his imaginary vision about this is what it's going to be like when we get done being cruel and incompetent. Yeah, speaking of competence, turns out during the Obama administration, they were deporting a peak of 36,000 people a month. And the very best that Miller and his crack team has been able to do so far is 14,000 in the month of June. So uh, he's being cruel and incompetent. But the main point of this particular episode is what responsible watchdogging is this Fox News guy doing when he poses these questions and has these reactions to them? So that's it for today. All right, farewell.
Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller. Is there an internment camp in the Everglades, Miller?
There is an ICE facility that provides a far superior level of housing and accommodation than is available to millions of Americans who are living in Section 8 housing and other low-income areas of our own blighted cities, like Baltimore, like Detroit, like Chicago. How many Americans are living in abominable conditions compared to the pristine conditions of our ICE facilities and our Border Patrol facilities? Look, at every turn, illegal aliens have always been treated better than Americans. The difference is, in this administration, they're getting a ticket out of America so that we can take care of our own people. Do you have any idea how many resources will be opened up for Americans when the illegals are gone? No more waiting in line at an emergency room? No more massive traffic in Los Angeles? Your health insurance premiums go down? Your public school classroom size will shrink dramatically. They have more time to educate every student. You won't have to compete for public benefits. If you're down in your luck, you're having a hard time, and you do need to get support from the government, you're not going to be in line behind millions of illegal aliens from the third world. This is going to be such a gift to the quality of life of everyday Americans, Jesse. It's hard to even express the wonders that await for working people.
Well, I mean, you had me at no traffic in LA. If you